Welcome back, villaging friends. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you know I finished up my Halloween village and now I'm moving towards my Christmas village that I'm calling Holiday Hills. It's going to have some warmth and nostalgia. And in this village is going to be a town center. What does every town center need at Christmas but a Christmas tree? So this year I have chosen the Lemax Majestic Christmas Tree. Really like this tree. It's got a lot going on for it. Now this one is broken. I know it didn't come with a star and there might be some other issues with it. So come join me as I make the mistakes that you don't have to repair this Christmas tree. Let's get started. Here we have the Majestic Christmas Tree in its box. I purchased this online for $10 because it was broken for parts. Let's take a quick look at what we've got. Oh yeah, okay, so that's definitely very broken. Now getting it out of the box, you definitely see there's no star, which I knew that was part of the description, and it's not attached to the base, and we have our circuit board. In the bag we have an extra column, but looking at the actual base, there's no missing column. Alright, I'll use that for something else later on. Definitely got a couple of ornaments to put back on the tree, but that's no big deal. So now that this is out, let's take a look at the damage. And we have wires at the top. Looking at this, it's actually incredibly convenient. The green and black wire, that's going to be going to the star, and everything else is just for the LEDs on the tree. Let's get ready to check some voltages. I plugged in the tree using a Lemax 4.5 volt power adapter. It's one of the 1 to 3 kind of situations. Okay, turning it on, the lights work great. No issues there whatsoever. I'm going to go ahead and grab my multimeter. I'm going to set this over to volts and take some readings on the pins for that connector that goes up to the top of the tree. Now I'm definitely going to be testing the voltage here, but I'm also going to be testing the voltage at the end of the wire. The wire that goes through the tree, I'm guessing it's glued or secured somewhere in the tree. And in order to get that out, I'd have to take it completely apart. And I want to avoid that if at all possible. So we have 4.6 volts coming off of this, which means it is a direct feed off the power. There's no resistance in place, so I'll definitely need to have a resistor in place. But the reason I'm going to be testing the top voltage on the wire is just to make sure that there's not a resistor that I can't see. Since I got 4.6 volts off of the standard power supply, I'm curious to see if a non-standard power supply would give me the same reading or something higher. So I have a third-party adapter, and this one's going to read, as soon as I can get my pins in place. Oh, it's backwards, but 5.29 volts, so definitely no resistance coming from the power to this board. Probably why this star failed. 5.28, so if someone had used a third-party power supply, it would eventually have blown the LED in the original star. Let's go ahead and make our new star. Okay, so I've got a set of pegs used in a ceramic Christmas tree with extra pieces, including this star that I think is going to be a perfect fit in replacement for the Majestic Christmas Tree. I'll put a link in the description below to these lighted pegs for ceramic trees. I really like them. Step 1. Cutting the star's peg for fitment. Looking at our peg, I'm going to make a mark just below the 2 lowest points of the star. This is going to be my cut line where I'm going to be placing a 3mm LED into this peg eventually. But let's go ahead and take our tree, line it up, and that is perfect. That is exactly where I want that star to be. So I'm going to set the tree aside and grab my hacksaw. And we're going to cut this very soft plastic. Now, this isn't going to take much, and I'm going to apologize now because I know this camera is going to shake. So, just working this back and forth. It doesn't take a whole lot to remove or cut through this plastic. It's very soft. Inspecting my cut, I realize I'm almost through, but not completely, so I'm going to just cut on this a little bit more and see if I can cut either directly through or just enough where I can just snap off the end of the plastic. Alright, that should be plenty, so let's just give it a little tug, and there we are. Now our star is ready for the next step of hollowing out the base of the star. Before we begin, remember, safety first. Wear eye protection when doing this next step, as it will be using a Dremel tool and hot pieces of plastic will be flying. Using a burr bit on high speed of my Dremel, I'm going to create a hole on the base peg that we originally cut off. This is going to be for the 3mm LED. This action is kind of like being a dentist who's working on a cavity. We're going to work around the edge to start to make the hole, as you can see here, and now slowly work the burr bit in. As you start working the burr bit into the base of the peg, little pieces of plastic are going to come flying at your face and on your hands. Taking a quick look at the hole made for the LED, it looks to be about correct. So I'm going to put an LED in a little tester device that I have, and let's just do a fitment test and see how it looks. Well, it looks great, but the LED is actually sticking out of the base of the star a little bit. So I'm probably going to go down an additional 2 to 3 millimeters. Once I get this hollowed out a little bit more, we'll do another dry fitment test to see how things are looking. Okay, that should be about enough. Grab my LED and my little tester. For those that are curious, my LED tester is actually the test button that you get on a string of Christmas lights in the box. Okay, the LED fits and sits perfectly in the hollowed out peg, and the star is lit perfectly. With our new star topper fabricated, we can move on to attaching the LED. Getting started, we're going to go ahead and take a 3mm LED. Now this is an RGB LED that I've chosen for this project. I'm going to bend the leads directly at a 90 degree at the base of the LED. Now, placing it on the dowel that runs the center of the tree, I know where I can make my next 90 degree bend. So it looks like I have a little man sitting on the top of the tree. After the solder connections are made, I'll secure the LED to the dowel using some low temp hot glue. There are other glues that I could use for this project, but I am choosing to use hot glue because it is easier for me to remove it. So should I want to change this LED in the future to something else, such as a flickering or a breathing effect, I won't have to fight too hard to remove it. I'm going to go ahead and cut a couple of small pieces of heat shrink and cover the legs of the LED. This is for insulating between the two, just in case something should ever get bumped or a short should occur. I don't want the LED to stop working or worse. Working these on, I'll secure them with a lighter, and this will give me 2 different solder points at a lower level that I can then hide in the greenery of the tree. Now, making the solder connections for this is actually going to be a little bit challenging. I have very little to no free space with these 2 little wires that are sticking out of the tree. I might have to take off some of the LED lights of the tree in order to get a little bit more access, but I'm going to try not to at first. I placed a couple of small pieces of heat shrink on the wires that are coming up through the tree for the LED. The green wire is the positive, the black wire is the negative. I think I've got my stars aligned and I can start making my connections. With all of my solder connections, I do use Flux. Now, I could have tinned this before and tried, and the reason I didn't and I wanted to do the wrapping of the wire around the lead is I'm concerned that it could get knocked off or pulled or yanked. By wrapping the wire around the lead itself, it does create a stronger connection when soldered. Slide up my heat shrink and grab my lighter. Now I would be very careful when using a lighter next to a Christmas tree. Granted, plastic Christmas trees are designed to burn in a specific fashion should they catch on fire, which is basically a melting kind of situation. And, you know, I would prefer not to have a melted Christmas tree. With the first leg soldered together, moving on to the last leg of this. And it is going along better than I anticipated. A little bit of flux, a little bit of solder, trim off any excess, slide up our heat shrink. Yeah. And now the fun part, try not to catch the tree on fire. With the LED attached to the top of the tree, now we can add our resistor. Before we add the resistor, let's take a look at our LED information. This is a 3mm slow fade RGB LED that is 3 to 3.2 volts at 20 milliamps at 0.25 watts. Let's calculate for resistance using a 4.5 volt power source minus a 3 volt LED. That equals 1.5 volts. 1.5 volts divided by 20 milliamps is 75 ohms. I'll be using a 0.25 watt 100 ohm plus or minus 5% resistor for this project. This will protect it from a regular or off-brand power supply. Adding the resistor is going to be a very simple process. With the tree on its side, I'm simply going to snip the green wire, which is our positive lead, and I'll just splice a resistor in place. Before I strip back the wires, I'm going to grab a piece of heat shrink and cut it so I can have a piece for both sides of this green wire. I'll then strip back the wires and put the resistor in line. The wiring on this piece is in phenomenal shape, so I'll just be using a pair of wire strippers to strip the wires today instead of using a lighter. I generally use a lighter when the wires are old and or brittle. As with all of my solder connections, I'm just going to use a dab of flux and just a dab of solder. It's a very quick and simple process. I'll repeat this process on the other leg of the wire before I trim off any excess, and then slide up the heat shrink and secure in place with my lighter. When securing heat shrink, you can use a lighter, a hairdryer, or even a heat gun with a deflector on it. I myself generally prefer using either a lighter or a hairdryer. With the heat shrink in place, I'm going to go ahead and reconnect the power to the distribution board, and then we can move on to reassembling the tree. I've gone ahead and stood the tree up in the base, and I believe that's just going to be a compression fitting. But the first thing that we're going to be working on is securing the LED to the top of the tree. Working it around, I'm going to make sure that the LED's position is going to be dead center of that dowel. Then I'm going to take some low temp hot glue and secure it in place. Just before I started working on this, the LEDs that wrap the tree actually came a little bit undone at the top. I'll use the extra ornaments with some glue to secure them back in place later. While I'm gluing this in place, I'm going to hold it firmly as I do not want it to shift or move with the hot glue while it is setting. This only takes a moment or so. The next step after this will be to take the star and put some glue into the hollowed out peg. Then we just simply slide it directly down and over the LED. I have oriented the star in the same position as the original would have been, so everything looks dead center when looking at it from the front. Taking the LEDs that go around the tree, I'm just rewrapping them back around. I'm going to tuck them in place. And I'm going to use a small dab of hot glue just to secure that for a moment. And I'll cover that with one of the extra ornaments that was in the bag when I unboxed the tree. I'm going to rotate the tree down on its side before I reattach the ornaments. As you recall, there were 2 silver ornaments that came in the bag that the tree was in when I did the unboxing. So I'm just going to use some low temp hot glue and I'm going to fill in around the top where it appears that they're missing. With the ornaments in place, I've stood the tree back up and I have to address the LEDs at the bottom. I'm just going to rewrap the LEDs as they originally were and then go down into the original channel at the base of the tree to tuck the wires. Then I'll take the power distribution board and tuck it back into its little channel. There is a ribbon cable that comes up from the bottom that feeds power to this board, so just be careful when doing this. With everything tucked into place, I'm going to check the orientation of the tree within the base because I want the star facing forward with the Merry Christmas sign on the front of the base. Now that I've got the orientation of the tree exactly where I want it, I'm going to firmly grab and press the tree down into the base. I believe this is just a simple compression fitting. I did not see any glue actually on the peg itself, although I have glue standing by just in case I need it. But just pressing it down, I actually felt it click. With the Majestic Christmas Tree reassembled, let's take a look at our final reveal. Starting from the bottom and working our way up, we see all of our lights are fully functional and working on the tree, all of the ornaments look fantastic, and of course our new star topper. So tell me, what did you think about this project? What did you like or not like about this project? Please let me know in the comments, I'd love to hear from you. I'm calling this completely repaired. This was a very easy project, it only took about 30 minutes of time. If you like this video, like and subscribe for more. Happy holidays, and thank you for watching Lemax Majestic Christmas Tree Repaired. If you like this video, like and subscribe for more.